Well, hi. Today is Wednesday, July 30th, 2025. I'm Todd Studer, and this is Morning Coffee. Well, storms last night. Hope everyone is okay. And coming up on today's show, we're going to dip a toe into politics. Now, you know how I feel about politics. I've talked about it many times. It's just something that I don't take sides, not publicly anyway, when it comes to this show. My job, I feel, is to just pass on information and let you make up your own mind. So with that in mind, I had an opportunity to sit down with a new candidate for a city council in Council Bluffs. Her name is Brandy Van Riessen. She is also full-time over at the Council Bluffs Area Chamber of Commerce. And she decided that this was the time for her to throw her hat into the ring and run for city council in Council Bluffs. So I had an opportunity to sit down and talk with her. We're going to learn a little bit more about Brandy, some of the reasons that she decided to run for city council. And also, while I have an opportunity, I'd like to invite anyone else that's running for public office. If you would like to be able to sit down, have a conversation, and we can just learn a little bit more about you. That is the idea for this show. Just like you're about to see with Brandy, then I would encourage you to do that. So just reach out to me here through this platform, or you can send me an email, toddstuder@gmail.com. So with all of that being said, our conversation with Brandy Van Riessen is coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Since 1870, Avela Bank has been providing Iowans with high-quality financial products and services to fit their needs. Whether you need a loan, would like to start a new business account, saving money for a trip, or just looking to open a personal checking account, Avela's qualified bankers can help you with all of that and a lot more. Visit avela.bank to learn more. If you're feeling stuck in uncertainty, conflict, or miscommunication, The Spiral of Accountability by local author Carol Horner is your guide to breaking free from the fog that clouds decision-making and relationships. Learn how to recognize negative cycles, shift your mindset, and build a culture of clarity and collaboration at work, at home, and in life. So if you're ready to spiral up, you're going to find her book on Amazon. You can also find it on her website, spiralofaccountability.com. Join the growing number of folks who have already read her book that say it's life-changing. And she has had that happen. That conversation has happened. So start your journey to a healthier, more productive team. Just Sue Creative, here to help your business with website design, search engine optimization, content creation, marketing, everything you need to take your company to the next level. Sue Pitts has a passion for small businesses, helping them thrive in this digital world. A great starting point, go to her website, justsuecreative.com. When you're there, you're going to see a button that says free consultation. Click on that, pick a time that is available, and bingo, you're off and running. And you can find out everything that Just Sue Creative can do for you and your business. Out and about talking with Brandy Van Riessen, who recently announced that you are running for city council in Council Bluffs. So that had to have been a big decision, huh?
Yeah, it definitely was, but it's one I'm really excited for.
Yeah, how much time was it that the idea first popped into your head until you said, all right, I'm pulling the trigger here and I'm going to go start collecting signatures?
Probably a couple months from when the idea first hit, doing some research of what the job entails, what I would need to do. But once I decided I was going to do it, I got all my signatures within I think a week and a half. So.
Yeah, it was going pretty quick.
Yeah.
I know that I had talked to you and you said, yeah, I just about got them all. And it was pretty fast. So I think that, to me anyway, that would translate into you got a pretty good support base out there.
Yeah, I think that's where, getting those signatures really quick kind of reaffirmed this might be a great decision. I have the support that I need, and just kind of hit the ground running with building a campaign platform and seeing the momentum that we can kind of carry through.
Yeah, campaign, that's a big old, potentially ugly word at times. I mean, if you think about it, we live in a smaller community, but not a small community. I mean, we've got over 60,000 people here in town. So how do you balance that with, listening to what people are saying versus what you're bringing to the table?
Yeah, I think with my campaign slogan that I have, it's listening is listed first for a reason, because the residents here want to be heard. They want to be represented well. So listening first and then leading is second, because I can't lead well if I don't know the needs of the people that I'm representing. So that is one of the, I guess that's kind of why I picked the slogan that I picked for my campaign. What was the rest of your question?
Well, it's just that's pretty much
Okay.
it. That it's because, as we said, you got to find a balance between what you're bringing to the table versus listening to what else people want. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Sometimes leading means doing the unpopular thing.
Absolutely.
If it's the right thing, because you're going to have access to a lot more information with winning an election. Suddenly, that okay, now you know the nuts and the bolts and the ins and the outs of everything that's going on. So
Yeah.
that can it can sometimes lead to, all right, I have to make a decision here that I know maybe some people won't understand.
Yeah, I think that'll be one of the things that will be challenging with a job is you want to represent everyone, but you're going to make decisions. You need to make them for the greater, good of majority of the people, but knowing that sometimes it won't be what everybody wants. And I think that's hard because you want to make everyone happy, but you can't. So ensuring that we're making smart decisions that benefit the majority of our community. And the one thing that I like to always tell people is like, if it's a no on a vote for something that you really wanted, I always say see that as like an opportunity to adjust, adapt, pivot, and then try it another way. So if there's something that comes up that people don't necessarily like, okay, how can we go forward next time? If this one didn't work out for you, it worked out for the majority of the city and people who live here, how can we serve you going forward? If this didn't serve you, how can we help you? So I think maybe looking at it that way is not one singular vote, but as a whole. Some things are going to be exactly what people want, and the things that aren't, okay, let's meet them where they are. Let's figure out how we can also make you feel like you're being represented by your city council members.
What are some of the things that, in your mind, could potentially be some of those bigger decisions? Because I like to say a lot on this show that, the brighter of a light we shine on the positive, the less comfortable is the negative being around it.
Yeah.
However, that doesn't mean ignoring the negative, because there are always going to be issues to work on. So what are some of the things in your mind that needs to be addressed as we head into the next fiscal year?
I think the main thing for me would be just transparency in all things that we're doing, and ensuring that the residents of Council Bluffs have accurate information. It's really dangerous to spread misleading information, and I feel like we've seen a lot of that over the years with different issues. And so ensuring from top down that we're transparent with all the projects that are being voted on, allowing the community to have access to information and to us individually so they can ask questions and get information. I think that's really important.
How do you do that, though? How do you create that access? Because there's people do feel a disconnect.
Yeah.
And they feel like, okay, those people are down there in City Hall, or they're in their office someplace, and I don't really have access to them. So how do you address that, and how do you overcome that?
Well, I think for a lot of the bigger issues that come to City Council, there are informational meetings put on by different people in the community, businesses that will be affected, going to those informational sessions so that they can be informed, but also so you can answer questions and be there to kind of have that conversation with the person who has concerns about like the projects or things that are going to be voted on.
I do think that the in-person conversation is a whole lot more effective than the online arguments and getting sucked into a Twitter war or whatever is going, because we have a tendency to do that because, I mean, let's just be honest, it's safer. We don't have to look somebody in the eye and tell them specifically what it is that we think. We can just make a comment online and look at it whenever we want to. So I think that makes things a little bit harder. For me personally, it's better to sit down and, okay, are we going to disagree about something? All right, let's go have a cup of coffee. Let's sit across the table from each other
Yeah.
and have a real conversation as opposed to, just all this online silliness.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I think having conversations with people who think and believe differently than you is so important, and having that open dialogue, open communication, making it so that it's comfortable to have those uncomfortable conversations, if that makes sense. The online stuff, it's just not a valuable use of anyone's time. So that's probably something I try to stay away from majority of.
Right.
With my campaign, I'm putting out the information of where I stand, the priorities that I support, things about me, so that people know me and what I would bring to city council if elected. So those are the kinds of things I will be putting out. I try not to get involved, like you said, social media responses and stuff. I feel like time is definitely better spent in-person conversation, having these open dialogues so that we can move forward instead of just getting stuck in kind of an argument that doesn't help move anything along.
Oh yeah, I've said this before too, that if you're looking through the comment section, whether it be on a social media or underneath a news story someplace that somebody posted, a comment that I have never seen in the entire existence of the internet is, wow, I see your point. I never looked at it that way.
Yeah.
You don't see that.
Yeah.
Because that's not where it goes. We all like to live in our little echo chambers, and it's tough to be able to do that. Have you started putting out any of these things about where you stand, and has that started to get put out into the universe?
Yeah, I've trickled out a few of my priorities and a little bit about me, trying to make sure that anyone who might not be familiar with me learns a little bit about who I am and kind of why I chose to run for city council, along with just kind of my priorities as we go through the campaign process. So those are all going to be on my Facebook page. I also have our campaign website that's up and going, and we'll continue to build it as the campaign grows. So
I'm guessing you're not out here all by your lonesome. I mean, do you have a team behind you yet?
I'm slowly putting them together, starting with the treasurer, because somebody's got to deal with the money and the fundraising side of it. And once we get all that done, I do have a few people that have been helping me. But I have 10 years of graphic design marketing experience, so I think that helps a lot, knowing that I can kind of do a little bit of it myself, and then depend on the people who have the specialized skills and the other areas of campaigning that I've just never done before. So, well,
from a business standpoint too, it's not whether or not you have the skill to do it. A lot of times it's whether you have the time to do it, because you have a full-time job, and you are still fulfilling those obligations, and now this is really another full-time job. With diving into this campaign. So getting the right people in place that, you can say, okay, you handle this, so you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
That's the biggest key. Can you get it completely off your plate so somebody else can manage that? You give them the information, they handle the nuts and bolts of it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we're getting that in place, so that's really exciting.
So what's next then? I mean, you got these different things in place. It's campaigns at the city level where we're at are pretty short, if you think about it. We're approaching August at the end of this week, and and there is a primary coming up. What's the date of when's that primary?
The primary will be in October for mayor. Right. Currently, as it stands, I think there's only 4 people that have announced that they're running for city council, so it will not trigger the primary for city council until there's a 5th person.
Okay.
So there may be a primary for city council, there may not be. It may just go to the November ballot, but I guess we'll see once people start turning their stuff in. Yeah,
and that's part of the control what you can control.
Yeah.
And try not to worry about the things you can't control.
Absolutely.
You just kind of move forward with where things are right now, and go from there. I'm regardless of anything else involved with that, just the fact that you're putting yourself out there and you say, okay, I'm gonna throw my hat into the ring and go through this. To me, that's impressive. That you're willing to take a chance on something like that, because it is unpredictable.
Yeah.
I would
think. Absolutely. That's a great way to great word to use for it.
Yeah, a lot of things can happen between now and then, and I personally can't imagine ever running for anything. It's just not in my DNA.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I'm not impressed by those that do.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you saying that. I don't know that it's ever something that I've had in my mind, like I said, until the 2 months, that I was like, wait, there's a spot open. I have such a passion. I think I've had a passion and a heart for service from the very beginning, moving here, doing service projects with my church, and then working with the Council Bluffs Noon Rotary Club, doing community service projects. And I see city council as another extension, as a way to serve the city that I live in, that I've chosen to plant some roots, raise my kids. My kids are in public school. So there's just so many things that affect me and the people I'm around in the community, that if I can be a part of making those things better for everyone in our city, like, it gets me excited. So like I said, it's not necessarily something that I have always had in my mind. It's not something that I've always thought of, like, oh, I want to run for city council one day. But then after having conversations and seeing what the job kind of entails, it was like, this is a great way to take that next step in, like, serving the city and the people that live here to make it better for all of us.
How about your family and friends? What kind of feedback did you get from them after you made the decision?
I would say all of it was very positive and excited. I think that was kind of one of the things that the people closest to me, if they thought it was a bad decision, they would have told me. The one thing that everyone said, which was kind of what you alluded to, is like, are you sure you want to throw yourself in the ringer with some of that? I'm hopeful that it can just stay, I don't know what word I want to use, just stay where it should for city council, and not get into the weeds of arguing and saying this person or that person. I think that, like I said, I don't think that's a good use of anyone's time, but yeah, it's just, I've gotten a lot of positive feedback, not only from friends, family, people who live here, other businesses, people that I've known throughout the years of living here. So I'm really excited to see the support that's already rolled in for the campaign, and it's kind of just getting started. So,
and this is, things are different now. I mean, I come from a previous generation, we'll just leave it at that. But there was, as far as marketing yourself goes, whether it's this or anything, there was limited options. Mm-hmm. Now, it's really endless.
Yeah.
I mean, you came from the digital marketing world. You mm-hmm. understand all about that, all right, how do you decide, all right, this is where I'm going to put my focus. I can invest dollars here or there. It's a really deep pool now. Mm-hmm. Where, before we had maybe 3 different options. Now it's everywhere.
Yeah.
That's, to me, it would be really difficult to decide where to go with that.
And for me, with the marketing background, I think that's the exciting part. I love that stuff. I love, okay, these are the people that I'm trying to reach with this message. I think I can help them. How do I do that? And planning that all out, that stuff gets me excited. So I enjoy the challenge of that part.
I should have hired you way back when. I struggle still with that, and I'm talking about just marketing myself. I mean, because mm-hmm. essentially I am a marketing company, but there's a difference between doing things for other people and doing them for yourself. Mm-hmm. And I know other people that are in that same boat, that mm-hmm. they're really good at marketing other businesses, but when it comes to themselves, it's hard to make that mental separation. Were you ever able to do that? I mean, with your business?
Yeah, I feel like I have a little bit, and some of that might just kind of come naturally. Growing up in the age of social media and stuff, it's sharing bits and pieces about yourself. So I think people will see that with my campaign is definitely, I'm going to list out the things that are important to me in the city and my vision and things that are important to me city-wise, but also I'm going to put in information, some personal stuff about myself. I think I've shared a couple posts about me being a mom and, and a post about being a neighbor and safe neighborhoods and like certain things that are important to me, but not just a general aspect, but like sharing personal stuff about myself and why it's important to me from that aspect, so people can feel like they can get to know me a little bit better. So I think for me, it's the campaign of this is the idea as a whole, but also like let me humanize it for you a little bit and put some stuff in there about me and who I am, so that like who's representing you as well. So I think you get a good balance in there, and people will know like what I stand for and who I am, all in one.
Well, I wanted to get your opinion about this because this is something that I've said quite a few times, that my belief is that Council Bluffs is the biggest small town in Iowa.
Yeah.
because we don't act like a city. We act like a small town.
Yeah.
And relationships are the most important thing when it comes to, and I'm not talking about personal life, I'm talking about professional life. You have to have solid relationships with your clients, with other business partners, with other people in the business community. I mean, working at the chamber, I'm sure that you see that all the time.
Yeah.
That, and that's just how I view what, I mean, yeah, you'd have to drive for 15 minutes to get across town, but it's still a small town.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that you say those two things, because those are two of the reasons that, I've kind of chosen to make this my home. One, like you said, the location. It's a small town, a big city, but small town feel, I guess you could say, and the distance to Omaha. So I grew up in Kansas City. So I'm a city girl. I love a big city, but I love the idea of raising my kids just outside of that. So the location here is not only just close to home, so we can hop on the interstate and be home to see grandparents same day if needed, but having access to the things in Omaha, but then really being able to thrive in our town as it is without necessarily needing those things, but having them all close and convenient made it kind of feel like home for me. And then you hit the nail on the head with the second part. You said relationships. Moving here and meeting some of the people that I've met through church, through the gym, through my kids' sports and schools, that really solidified it for me from the beginning, is just like the people and the friendships that I've made here. For not having family that lives in the area, I have the best tribe of people around me that I can count on for support at any hour of the day. And I know that's not necessarily a common thing for a lot of people. So for me as a single mom, that's something that I love and cherish, all my friends and just the community that I've had around me. And I think that's kind of what gives me the passion for the city as well, and wanting it to do well, not just for me, but for our kids and my friends' kids and the future generations that are going to come, making it a fun, safe, thriving place for them to grow and hopefully have a business and work and stay here and stay close to home once they're old enough.
Well, as we near the end of what it is that we're doing here, I wanted to touch on one last thing. Obviously, you are younger than what many would consider like a seasoned politician or somebody in public service. You're not in your 60s.
I'm not.
You're coming from the younger generation. But I will say this, and I've told other folks at the chamber and different places that we can get caught up in saying that the younger generation is our future. I disagree with that. I say the younger generation is our present. It has to be included in that. And I just wanted to give you an opportunity to speak on where, coming from that generation, you feel bringing that into the table would benefit the community.
Yeah, I mean, I think one, not being born and raised from here, I think it brings fresh perspective. I think Debbie Durham spoke on it in our Rotary meeting last Thursday, how it is important that we attract new people and retain them and get them to stay here. And I think I can bring that perspective to City Council because that's what I've chosen to do. But also having our young children and considering the choices that we're making today and how we're going to help build things for them, I think that's so important. And having fresh ideas, fresh perspective on things is a good thing. Our population has stayed stagnant for over the last 50 years. And that also means that our age is, the people here are aging, which affects workforce, which affects our schools. So we do have some things that we need to look at as that could be potential issues, and how we can address those so that the next generation coming in, we're making good choices for them. So
yeah, I'm again grateful for your time today. I know that sitting down and talking with some guy on a camera is is not always the most comfortable thing, but it's obvious you are comfortable with it. So I'm thanks for throwing your hat in the ring and getting out there and running. Wish you the best moving forward, and we'll hope that you have a good campaign all the way through into November because, like I said, keep it nice, folks, please. Yeah, just civil, that's all that we're after.
Yeah.
I don't need the stress either, and I'm sure you don't either. So,
Yeah.
that's just my little 2 cents worth where that's concerned. But this is Brandy Van Riessen. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on and giving me the opportunity to kind of let people know what I'm about and the campaign that we're getting ready to kick off.
As I mentioned earlier, local candidates would love to have you on, give you an opportunity to talk about your story, just like Brandy just did here. And I would love to be able to have you on. Look, I don't have an axe to grind on this show. I am not going to publicly pick sides on any political race. That's just not going to happen. What I will do is have conversations with people. I will learn more at the same time you are learning more about these folks, and then you can make up your own mind, which I think that's the way that the system should work. Don't you think? Okay. If you're looking for a laid-back spot with great food and even better company, come to the Mile Away in Council Bluffs. This family-run bar and grill is your go-to for mouth-watering wings, unbeatable weekly specials, and a welcoming atmosphere that feels like home. So whether you're catching the game, grabbing a daily special, or unwinding after a long day, the Mile Away has you covered. They're located north of Council Bluffs on Old Lincoln Highway, the perfect place to relax and enjoy good times. Follow them on Facebook for the latest events and specials. The Mile Away, where great food and great people come together. If you're looking to elevate your wrestling game, join the best wrestler in Council Bluffs, where champions are forged. Founded by Olympian George Ivanoff and his father, elite coach Ivan Ivanoff, the club is built on 3 pillars: wrestling, academics, and career. Trained with world-class coaches who produced Olympians, world champions, and national title holders. Their state-of-the-art facility at the Iowa West Fieldhouse offers programs for all ages and skill levels. Whether you're aiming for the podium or just personal growth, The Best Wrestler is your path to excellence. Visit thebestwrestler.com to learn more and start your journey today. Thank you, Brandy Van Riessen, for joining us on today's show, learning a little bit more about your why of getting into the city council race in Council Bluffs. And as I said during the interview, what impresses me is her willingness to do it. It's a tough game. And you know how it is. I mean, you've seen all of these campaigns from city level all the way up to national level. They can just get ugly, and people tend to throw any kind of decorum, and it just throw it right out the window. And we start getting nasty and getting into insults, and that doesn't help anybody. So if you can find a way to keep it civil online, I get that we're going to disagree, but there's a way to disagree without taking a personal shot against somebody. And that's what this show is designed to do, to just pass on information, let you make up your own mind. It's not up to me to tell you anything. I don't have any more information than you do based off of the conversation that you just saw with Brandy. That's it. I know now what you know. And I am not in a place to be able to tell anyone what they should or shouldn't do that's right for them. That's why we vote. We all vote based on what's best for us. And then whoever gets the most votes wins. That's the system that we have. So please, I'm begging you, keep the negativity out of it. There's no need for it. And all it does is drag us all down, and we start looking for a lowest common denominator. I'm not interested in that. I don't want to descend into that. We're above that. And I'm going to do my small little part to try to keep that up in the forefront. All right, I'm off my soapbox. That's, as I said, as I told Brandy, I'm not running. I will never run for office. That's not something that I have any interest in doing. But I can be a conduit for other people's voices. And that's what we hope that this show is for you. That's going to wrap things up for today. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Todd Studer. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.